Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
Today, we're going to continue biting into the Din Tai Fung legacy. We are going to continue talking about the landmark restaurant here in Taiwan, the big tourist attraction, Din Tai Fung. And you've probably been there yourself. And, of course, lots of foreign visitors go there because, hey, it's a very famous restaurant. It was recognized as one of the top 10 restaurants in the world by the New York Times at one time or another.
It sure was. And I can agree with that. I think they have good food. I don't like waiting in line, though, so it's rare that I go. If I do want to pick up some xiaolongbao, which I occasionally do, I'll go to the branch restaurant in the Zhongshao Fuxing Station area. So I'll put in my order and then I'll go shopping. So it's not so bad, and I don't have to wait outside in long lines. But yeah, it's got some good tasting food. And if I have friends or if I'm just with other people, hanging out, sometimes we'll want to go there and have some food. But we're going to continue talking about the legacy and what makes it so special. We're going to focus more today about the quality of the food and how they're very precise in this particular restaurant. But first, guys, we're going to read through today's lesson. Today, Din Tai Fung is gaining worldwide popularity, with its branches spreading across Asia, Europe, the Americas, and beyond. The question arises, what is the secret behind its remarkable success? The answer lies in a combination of several key factors. First and foremost is Din Tai Fung's commitment to quality, covering every aspect of the cooking process. A shining example is the creation of its perfect xiaolongbao. Every step must be precise, from selecting the finest meat and adjusting the salt level to steaming each xiaolongbao for the right amount of time. These steps ensure that each xiaolongbao weighs exactly 21 grams and has 18 folds, displaying Din Tai Fung's pursuit of perfection. Equally important is Din Tai Fung's emphasis on delivering exceptional customer service. Its service philosophy revolves around genuine sincerity and putting the needs of its guests first. To ensure this quality of service, the staff follows standardized procedures. Moreover, the company values customer feedback as an indispensable tool for continuous improvement. Last but not least, Din Tai Fung's success stems from its focus on employee happiness. The company firmly believes that happy employees create happy customers. By providing emotional support and investing in its employees' personal growth through training programs, Din Tai Fung ensures that employees' enthusiasm is reflected in their work, contributing to a delightful dining experience for customers. From humble beginnings to global fame, Din Tai Fung's story and culture are as fascinating as its xiaolongbao are tempting. Whether you're an experienced foodie or a culinary novice, Din Tai Fung is a mouth-watering journey you won't want to miss.
Okay, everybody, it's time for us to start looking at the contents of today's lesson. Again, last time we talked about the early history of Din Tai Fung, the owner and his wife, how they set up an oil shop and eventually started a restaurant. And the rest is history. Now, today, Din Tai Fung is getting worldwide popularity or gaining worldwide popularity with its branches spreading across various places in the world, Asia, Europe, the Americas, and beyond. So if you gain popularity, you get popular. And yes, indeed, this restaurant is pretty well known around the world, at least with people who know a thing or two about food. And it's got branches in different parts of the world, Asia, Europe, the Americas, which would be North and South America, and in other places as well. But we've got a question here. The question comes up, the question arises, what is the secret behind its remarkable success? Indeed, what's so great about Din Tai Fung? Why is it so darn popular?
Well, we've got the answer here, and it says it lies in a combination of several key factors. So we're going to look at some of those key factors that makes it so special, that makes it kind of remarkable for the success it's had, for how long it's been popular. We know from our program in the last time we were together was that in 1993, the New York Times named it one of the top 10 restaurants, but it's still popular after all these years. And I know they've added more branches of the restaurant since I've been here in Taiwan. So,
sure.
Yeah, it continues to do well. Let's take a look at the next paragraph. It says, first and foremost. Foremost is just a way to emphasize first, because foremost means the most prominent in rank or importance or position. So you've already said first. Why are we saying first and then foremost too? Do we need both? It's just to emphasize it. So first and foremost, the first factor we're going to tell you about is Din Tai Fung's commitment to quality. So that's very, very important. I think every time I've had xiaolongbao there, they taste the same. They never vary. I've never had some that had less soup in them or had too much salt or had been steamed too long or not long enough. Their commitment to quality is really great.
Indeed. So a commitment, of course, is when you make a commitment, when you commit to something or you make a promise, you're dedicated to that thing, you don't give up on that thing. It's a very important thing to you. And yes, they have this commitment to quality. Those chefs are probably trained for several weeks before they're allowed to go into the kitchen. And their commitment to quality covers every aspect of the cooking process. Okay, so every aspect of the cooking process would include the acquisition of materials, preparation, the actual cooking of the items, the actual serving of them, the temperature of the room they're cooked in, the temperature of the water they're cooked in. Those are all the different aspects of the cooking process. And indeed, they have that commitment to quality. They are pretty much dedicated to making it a perfect food item based on all those different steps.
Right. You can have a commitment to a lot of different things. You can be committed, which is the adjective form. Commit is the verb. If you commit to something, like Tom said, you're making a pledge or a promise. You're dedicating yourself to something. And they're very dedicated or committed to quality control. And they're very careful about every single aspect or part or factor. These are some of the key factors we're going over of the cooking process. Here's two words that you'll often see together in English. A shining example. Oh, he's a shining example of the perfect boss. Or she's the shining example of a great student. You can be a shining example if you do something really well and other people admire you for it. Well, a shining example of their commitment to quality is the creation of its perfect xiaolongbao. This is the writer's opinion. They think their xiaolongbao is perfect. I kind of agree. I think they make really good soup dumplings is what we call them in English for people who don't know what xiaolongbao means. So every step must be precise. If you're precise, you're very, very careful. You're very accurate. And it's very important to you to do things well and to do it right. Not get it, mama who is so-so or almost. No, it has to be very precise. I noticed one time I went to visit their restaurant because I was with a group at Zhengdan. We wrote a report on this particular company. And I remember talking to one of the guys in the kitchen, and he had to roll out the dough for it was past 6 months. He'd already been there 6 months, and they wouldn't let him touch anything else. So you have to start in certain areas, and then you kind of graduate to other levels. But they are very, very precise in what they do. So he'd weigh out a little bit of dough, which turns into the skin that covers them. And then he'd use this tiny rolling pin. It was fun.
Exactly. So if you're precise, of course, you're very exact about the details. Somebody might say, what's the temperature outside? Well, it's 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh, can you be more precise? Okay, it's actually 64.798766 degrees Fahrenheit. That is a very precise measurement. And of course, here they've got to be precise. They've got to be exact. And they select the finest meat. And they adjust the salt level. And they steam each xiaolongbao for the right amount of time. So here we've got a range of things from selecting the finest meat and adjusting the salt level to steaming each xiaolongbao for the right amount of time. So these are all different steps in the preparation process. They select the finest meat and they adjust the salt level. Of course, you can't have too much salt. You can't have too little salt. It's got to be just right. So if you adjust something, you make little changes to it in order to improve it. And so they adjust the salt level, and then they also steam each xiaolongbao for the right amount of time. You can't steam it for too long, and you can't steam it for too short amount of time. Otherwise, it won't come out the right way.
If you adjust something, and that's what our vocabulary word here is, it's a verb. It just means you change or alter or move something a little bit because you're trying to get something to have the right fit or to work in the right way that you need it to. You can adjust the air conditioning setting in your apartment. Maybe it's on 26 and you adjust it to 25. Maybe you are working on a new recipe and you add too much salt. You need to adjust the amount of salt that you added so it tastes better. So they are adjusting the salt level, and that's very important. I've never had a xiaolongbao that tasted different. They always are very consistent.
Exactly. So that's what they want to achieve, that consistency.
Yeah.
And these steps ensure that each xiaolongbao weighs exactly 21 grams and has 18 folds, displaying Din Tai Fung's pursuit of perfection. So there are some details there. They've got to weigh exactly 21 grams. Wow, that might be hard to achieve. I wonder if they weigh each one before they serve it just to make sure it's correct. And then it's got to have those 18 folds. You do those folds when you make shuijiao or water dumplings, boiled dumplings. I've done that before. And those are kind of hard to make. You kind of make your fingers a little moist, then you grab the skin and you kind of squeeze it a little bit. So that's what they're doing here. But this is very precise here. They have 18 folds. And that is an example of Din Tai Fung's pursuit of perfection. They want to be oh so precise.
They sure do. We're going to take a bit of time and listen to our Chinese teacher, who's always very precise, and then we'll be back.Hello
everyone, 我是派老师。今天讲解的是10月4号 Unit2 Biting into the 鼎泰丰 Legacy Day 2。这个单元介绍的是鼎泰丰。在第一天的课程，我们知道鼎泰丰最刚开始不是餐厅，是一家油行。后来因为他们的业绩下滑，创办人开始卖起小笼包，希望能够帮补家计，结果越来越受欢迎。而今天的课程让我们了解到鼎泰丰成功背后的因素，包括他们对品质还有员工训练的重视等等。好，我们一起来看学习重点吧。请同学看到第一段第一个句子，从逗点之后 with 开始。With its branches spreading across Asia， 这个呢其实是一个很重要的考点，在克漏字测验的时候考文法，那常常呢会把 with 后面的动词挖空，那请同学特别注意，在这个 with 后面呢绝对是不可能出现原形动词或者过去式的，这个动词是必须要加以变化的，所以这边呢我们就加上 ing， 因为这里所指的就是这家餐厅它的分店遍布全亚洲、欧洲还有美洲等。那再来第二个句子，我们看到是词语搭配，有个问题发生了 The question arises， 在这里有个问题 The question arises。 那第三个句子呢刚好也是词语搭配，答案就在什么 The answer lies in the combination。 好，答案就在什么。好，所以 这一个地方呢，其实第三个句子就有点像是主旨句的概念，告诉我们呢，第二天课程的这个内容大致上就是要解释到底是什么因素让鼎泰丰生意这么好的。好，第一个因素 First and foremost is， 请同学特别画起来，也可以在英文作文写作的时候呢来模仿运用。首先就是他们的鼎泰丰's commitment to quality， 鼎泰丰非常重视品质。那 commitment 呢，其实有投入的意思哦。那他们是怎么投入的呢？原来啊，他们相当的注重料理过程当中的每个环节。好，所以这里的 commitment， 老师刚刚所说了，其实你可以把它理解成投入。那从前后文来看，其实也就是他们对品质的重视。再来第二个句子，这里呢用了一个比较少见的词语搭配，但是说得通的哦。请同学看到 a shining example， 有个很好的例子，用 shining 来形容例子，所以呢有一个很显而易见的例子，那就是他们鼎泰丰最出名的小笼包。再来请看第三个句子，这里解释到我们怎么看得出鼎泰丰对品质的重视呢？光是它的制作程序，每个步骤都要求非常的精准，从选择肉品做内馅，盐分多少，到小笼包要蒸多久，都要非常精确。那这就符合了第四个句子所说的，鼎泰丰是在追求完美 ，pursuit of perfection。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. We're talking about Ding Tai Fung, a very worldwide, globally famous restaurant. Today, we are going to focus, and we are focusing, on what makes them so successful. What's their key to success, or what's the combination of key factors that have made them so successful? Well, we talked about the first and foremost, the most important thing of all of the things we're going to be sharing today about their success is that they are very committed to quality. Quality keeps people coming back to your store or coming back for more service that you provide. If you're very, very committed to quality, people know what they can expect when they go somewhere, whether it's a tourist attraction or a restaurant or a retail store that sells clothes. If you're committed to quality, you'll oftentimes be able to get a customer for life, somebody who will stay with you. So we talked about how they're very, very precise in the cooking process. They select really good meat. Yeah, sometimes if you go to other places for xiaolongbao, sometimes the meat inside the soup dumpling is a little fatty or just not really good. And their meat is always very good. So they have the finest meat. And they also adjust the salt level, and they're very careful to steam them the exact amount of time they need to. So, yeah, their whole process is very precise, very exact.
Exactly, and of course, these are different steps that ensure that each xiaolongbao weighs exactly 21 grams, has 18 folds, and that, of course, is an example of their pursuit of perfection. Now, here in the next paragraph, it says, equally important, or just as important as the things we just mentioned, is Din Tai Fung's emphasis on delivering exceptional customer service. Indeed, cooking the food is one thing, but treating your customers nicely is another one, and they commit themselves to exceptional customer service. And its service philosophy revolves around genuine sincerity and putting the needs of its guests first. Indeed, if you go to Din Tai Fung, you can expect to be waited on by very professional waiters and waitresses. And they wear those uniforms. I think they wear black vests and black trousers over white shirts. If I recall correctly, it's been a while since I went to Din Tai Fung. The last time I went was to the one out in the Banqiao train station.
Oh, I haven't been to that one.
Level B1, I think. And yes, indeed, they provided excellent service. So again, they deliver exceptional customer service. And again, their philosophy or their idea around customer service revolves around genuine sincerity. So if it revolves around something, that means it's the main focus, it's the main thing they emphasize, and it's genuine sincerity. You got to be genuine, you got to be sincere, you got to look like you really care about what you're doing and that you're not just doing it because the boss told you to. So sincerity means you really say what you mean, you really feel that way, you're not just doing it just because you have to.
Yeah, and if something's genuine, it's real, it's authentic, it's not fake or something that's been made to look real. So you want somebody who is genuine around you. Genuine sincerity means they mean the smile that they give you. Sometimes, people can give you fake smiles. You can see in their eyes that they're not really smiling. They're just moving their mouth. So you want someone who's genuine. Well, their service philosophy, the way they feel like customer service should be handled, is to be very genuine, very sincere, and put the needs of their guests first. So they're always thinking about the customer's comfort and whether they've been served correctly or they're happy with their meal. Those things are very important. And I'm sure they have a big training program as well. Big companies or successful companies and restaurants usually do have big training programs to train their employees. Now, to ensure this quality of service, the staff follows standardized procedures. Yeah, they're always doing things in the same way every time. So if you are talking about people who work at a company, remember, staff is non-count, guys. Don't say, my staff's. Don't do that. And I'll have clients sometimes will say, well, I have different locations. Still, don't do that. Just keep the S off staff always, and you'll be safe, I would say. More and more I'm seeing S's being added to non-count words, and people will go, well, but there's a lot, or there are different kinds. Just keep the S off. We're getting some bad habits coming into our Taiwan English here, so be careful.
Well, there are different situations where you can add the S to these words, but we won't go into that right now. We don't want to confuse you.
I would say foreign-born, just stay away from it.
Indeed. And so we're talking about the staff of each restaurant. They follow, or it follows, standardized procedures. If something's standardized, they have a standard in the central location, and every branch restaurant follows those procedures to the letter.
Sometimes they call them SOPs in business, standard operating procedure or standard operating practice.
And moreover, or in addition, the company values customer feedback as an indispensable tool for continuous improvement. So yes, indeed, they do want the customers to tell them how they're doing. How did you like the food? Was it consistent? How is the service? Did the waiter serve you properly? Did you have to wait for your food for a long time? Were they friendly to you, etc.? They value customer feedback. And here's another example of a word that you can't add an S to, feedback. That is non-count. So they value the customer feedback, and it's indispensable. It's an indispensable tool for continuous improvement. If something's indispensable, they need to have it. They cannot do without it.
I wanted to add feedback is only a noun, a non-count noun. It is not a verb. I've had people say, yeah, he's gonna feedback me.
Ooh.
No, don't do that. So, yeah, feedback, I think they have little review sheets or cards on the table that maybe they ask customers to fill out to rate them or rank them on their service. So last but not least, here's the final one. Remember, if you start something out where you're listing different things, first and foremost is your most important, number one. And then at the end, you can say last but not least. Although it is last in our list, it doesn't mean it's not important. It's important still. So Din Tai Fung's success stems or comes from its focus on employee happiness. I love companies that care about their own employees and not just the customers. Those are the companies that will last the longest and will have the happiest customers as well, because you want your employees to be happy. The company firmly or really believes that happy employees create happy customers. That is 100% true. So by providing emotional support and investing in its employees' personal growth through training programs. Those training programs cost the company money, so they're not cheap to do, but if they really want their company and their employees to do well, they will offer these training programs. Now, to invest, we use invest usually when we're talking about things like stock, or investing in a company. But you can also invest in somebody. Parents invest in their children by making sure that they grow up well, that they're taught and trained and receive lots of love and support. That's investing in someone's growth.
Yeah, not just with money, but also emotional support. And they have those training programs. And Din Tai Fung ensures that employees' enthusiasm is reflected in their work, contributing to a delightful dining experience for customers. So to reflect, of course, means to show. They want to have that enthusiasm shown in their work, and they want the customers to see that. And our final paragraph here begins by saying, from humble beginnings to global fame, Din Tai Fung's story and culture are as fascinating as its xiaolongbao are tempting. So yes, indeed, the story is fascinating, just as fascinating as the xiaolongbao are tempting. If something's tempting, it's really inviting. You see it and you go, wow, I got to try that. I can't wait to bite in. I can't wait to sink my teeth into those xiaolongbao.
So whether you're an experienced foodie, somebody who loves to go to gourmet restaurants, or you're a culinary novice, a novice is somebody who's brand new at something, Din Tai Fung is a mouth-watering journey you won't want to miss. Mouth-watering, yep, I can agree with that. Right now, we're going to listen one more time to our Chinese teacher, and then we'll be back to say goodbye.
好，我们看到第三段第一个句子，一样是个倒装句。Equally important is， 它把补语呢先放到了前面。还有一个第二个因素，同样重要，就是他们对于客户的服务、顾客的服务非常的重视。Emphasis on， 对什么的重视，对什么的强调。Emphasis on delivering exceptional customer service。这里的 exceptional 并不是例外的，而是呢非常好的顾客服务。好。再来，请同学看到第三个句子，这里讲到员工呢，他都必须要遵守标准程序 （standardized procedures）。请同学画起来，这就是中文里面很多人喜欢讲的 SOP。再来呢，请同学看到第四个段落的第一个句子 ，Last but not least， 那通篇都是在讲鼎泰丰成功的因素，这已经是第三个了，所以是最后一个因素。虽然是最后一个呢，但是一样很重要哦。Last but not least， 鼎泰丰 success stem from 其实就是源自于鼎泰丰这么成功，后面就是理由了。Focus on employee happiness， 原来鼎泰丰相当重视他们员工到底幸不幸福。好了，再来我们就看到第三个句子了。第三个句子我要请同学特别看的呢，是在最后面那个逗点之后 ，contributing to a delightful dining experience for customers。这个 contributing to， 那其实是省略了前面的 which 代替前面一整个句子哦，就是从鼎泰丰 ensures that。鼎泰丰呢，他们会确保 employees' enthusiasm is reflected in their work。所以鼎泰丰一定要确保一件事情，就是员工呢，他们对于工作的热忱是可以呢，在工作过程当中展现的。好，那因为鼎泰丰做了这项确认，所以呢，后面这个 which 就代替这件事，这也造成了 contributing to， 也就形成了后面这件事。什么事呢？让顾客用餐的时候非常的愉快。好，以上就是我们针对鼎泰丰课程第2天内容所做的中文讲解。谢谢大家。
That is it for today. Thank you so much for joining us, and please join us again next time when we talk about another subject that is as fascinating as the subject we talked about today. We look forward to seeing you then. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
See ya.